What's cultural preservation?
Keeping traditions and history alive.
Why is culture important?
It shows who we are.
What's a tradition?
Something we do for years.
Why preserve languages?
It tells stories and thoughts.
How can we share stories?
Through books and speaking.
What's a cultural artifact?
An old thing with history.
Why care for artifacts?
We teach about the past.
What's a festival?
It's a joyful cultural celebration.
How do we celebrate heritage?
Mix dances, music, and food.
What's historical preservation?
Angled places safe.
Why visit museums?
Answers to see cultural treasures.
What's a monument?
Answer a special historic structure.
How do we protect history?
Answer places clean and safe.
Why is culture unique?
Each place has special things.
What's a heritage site?
Patrons, a place with important history.
How do we respect elders?
Answer, listen and learn from them.
Why is music important?
It tells cultural stories.
What's a cultural dance?
Answer, a dance from a culture.
How do we learn traditions?
Watch, listen, and join.
Why is traditional food special?
It connects to our past.
What's oral history?
Answer stories told by people.
How can we learn history?
Read books and talk.
Why are symbols important?
They show a culture's identity.
What's cultural diversity?
Many cultures together.
How do we learn about cultures?
Answer, meet people and ask.
Why is cultural knowledge valuable?
It's part of our identity.
What's a cultural dress?
Takes taken from a culture.
How do we celebrate diversity?
Respect and learn from all.
Why keep old stories?
They teach about the past.
What's a traditional craft?
Making things by hand.
How can we save art?
It's safe and share.
Why protect cultural heritage?
It's part of who we are.
What's cultural identity?
What makes us unique?
How do we celebrate cultures?
when events and learning.
Why study traditional music?
It's part of our history.
What's a cultural ritual?
A special tradition or ceremony.
How do we pass traditions?
Teach them to new generations.
Why is history important?
It helps us understand today.
What's a cultural custom?
To way of doing things.
How do we protect languages?
Teach and speak them.
Why celebrate heritage?
It connects us to the past.
What's a cultural story?
A tale from a culture.
How can we learn about the past?
A look at old things.
Why care for traditions?
They make us who we are.
What's a folk song?
From a culture.
How do we respect cultures?
By learning and listening.
Why save traditional skills?
They're part of our history.
What's a cultural ceremony?
Answer a special event or ritual.
How do we honor ancestors?
Answer extra remember and respect them.
Why keep old art?
It shows our heritage.
What's a cultural value?
Answer something a culture believes.
How can we share culture?
Keep stories and events.
Why visit cultural sites?
Seeps to learn and appreciate history.
What's a heritage festival?
And celebration of traditions.
How do we learn from cultures?
Ask questions and listen.
Why care about heritage?
It's part of our story.
What's a traditional game?
A game played for years.
How can we celebrate culture?
Join in, learn.
Why is cultural knowledge important?
It helps us understand others.
What's a cultural treasure?
Get something valuable from a culture.
How do we learn about traditions?
From parents and elders.
Why protect cultural symbols?
They're a part of our identity.
What's a cultural performance?
Answer, a show that represents a culture.
How do we pass down customs?
Teach them to kids.
Why learn about cultural history?
Peace and storing to appreciate different backgrounds.
What's a cultural belief?
Something a culture thinks is true.
How do we remember history?
It's through stories and objects.
Why learn about cultural practices?
Saints understand other ways of life.
What's a cultural landmark?
A famous place with meaning?